Chapter 2149C. Who has more patience? After knowing that the uninhabited island was a conspiracy of the Wulwan Empire, Zhang Yi felt relieved. This way there won't be any entanglement in your heart. So the question now is how to take advantage of the situation. Zhang Yi thought about it carefully. First of all, how likely is it that the gatekeeper of the underworld left the Wulwan Empire and came here to set a trap to ambush him? Although it is extremely low, it is not completely non-existent. Since the other party already knows his abilities, there must be preparations made to target his abilities in the trap. The Wulwan Empire didn't know much about him. It's basically still at the stage of the last Tianhai War. Therefore, they are not clear about the degree of evolution of Zhang Yi's time-related abilities. In order to effectively ambush Zhang Yi, there must be means to limit his spatial displacement ability. Secondly, in order to attract Zhang Yi, how big is the bait they prepared? So far, Zhang Yi has only obtained some fragments of the Source of God, which are not tempting enough. Zhang Yi came to the living room and rubbed the big Totoro with his feet. Big Totoro, get up, let's talk about our ideals in life. The big chinchilla turned around and looked at Zhang Yi in confusion, blinking its big eyes, not knowing what Zhang Yi wanted to do. After 3 years of getting along, the language of the big chinchilla can already be translated by equipment. It's just that its IQ is indeed not high, about the same as cats and dogs, and it is not a high-level mutant creature like Huahua. Therefore, communication with it often has to be translated through flowers and frogs. Zhang Yi pulled over a chair and handed it the hare he found in the cave. This is your companion. Do you want to play with your companion? The big chinchilla stared at the hare eagerly, moved its big face closer, and sniffed it carefully. Soon it jumped up excitedly and squeaked for a long time, extremely happy. It has been several years since it left the Wulwan Empire and has never seen its own kind. Now it suddenly smells the scent of its own kind and is extremely excited. Huahua complained to Zhang Yi speechlessly, "Master, it's also in heat." Zhang Yi nodded, fully understanding. Yeah, I haven't met anyone of the opposite sex in over 3 years. It's really frustrating. Is that so, Big Totoro? Come with me to a place where there are many of your kind. I promise to find you many companions. The big chinchilla is a good digger, and that cave was dug by one of its kind, so it will definitely be useful to bring it with you when the time comes. Squeaky. Thank you, Master. It happily rushed over to hug Zhang Yi, but was pushed away by Zhang Yi with some disgust. It was almost suffocated to death by its fat belly. Come and tell me about your race. Zhang Yi smiled and patiently asked about the giant chinchilla race. At this time, he already had a plan in his mind. For the next period of time, the ocean was calm and no one visited the uninhabited island again. It's just that patrol boats from the East China Sea region pass by here every day. The sailors on the boats observe this place from afar, looking hesitant, but never get close. 3 days passed. Another 7 days passed. The people of the Wulwan Empire in the underground cave finally became restless. How could this happen? We've clearly attracted them here, but why haven't they taken any further action? A lizardman officer said with some annoyance. Did we make the trap too dangerous?
Someone asked.
Impossible. This claim was immediately refuted. Even humans can overcome this level by sending out the powerful beings they call Ipsilon. We've estimated human strength, and it's just right. It's not dangerous. A group of people were talking about it, and no one knew why it turned out like this. At this time, someone in the crowd suddenly spoke up. Is it possible that the bait we released wasn't tempting enough for them? Everyone. The Source of God initially attracted competition from multiple human nations, so they believed that this thing was valuable enough. After all, high-end goods like the Spirit of Sacrifice are extremely limited even in the entire Wulwan Empire. After the end of the world, they gathered a large amount of this kind of material and distributed it according to bloodline and talent. Otherwise, how could there be monsters of the level of the gatekeepers of the underworld? The rest was left to other geniuses in the royal family, and then to other talented people. There were once dozens of Ipsilons in the Wulwan Empire, all of whom benefited from the large-scale extinction of mankind. Although there are still stocks in the Empire at present, they are all reserved for future generations of talented people. Using it as bait makes people feel a little sad. Well, let's ask Master Clot for his opinion. The person in charge of this operation is Clot, the #1 figure in the Imperial Military Execution Force and a duke. He was also personally appointed by Zheng Lu to kill Zhang Yi. He is very powerful and has reached the level of Bishop Bai. After hearing his subordinate's report, Clot said, "I was originally planning to use the sacrifice spirit as bait. However, no decent human has appeared here yet. Rashly taking out the sacrifice spirit would be a waste of talent." The subordinate hurriedly said, "But now, it seems that these fragments of the source of God are no longer enough for humans to take risks. After all..." He hesitated for a moment, looked at his colleagues, and said with difficulty, "After the apocalypse, their growth rate was too fast. The gap between them and the level of civilization of our Wulwan Empire has narrowed a lot. There are also many high-level aliens, especially our prey this time, who possesses strength nearly at the level of a black bishop. Why the alien race also calls him a black bishop is just a translation issue, and similar questions will not be specifically explained in the future." After thinking for a long time, Clot said helplessly, "Well, it seems we have to give them more temptations. These greedy humans." After staying here for too long, he gradually became anxious. After all, he didn't like the environment here very much. So, late one night, a half-eaten corpse of a giant spider was suddenly thrown onto the coast. The huge bloody corpse was very eye-catching. When the patrol boat arrived again, it found it, and the soldiers on the boat immediately came over and towed it onto the boat. This time, they found some fragments of the sacrificial spirit in the spider's body. Chapter 2150, Watching the show quietly. This is good stuff. Even an inhuman of Ypsilon's level needs evolutionary materials. When Li Guangxiao, Xuanwu, and Zhuke saw this, they showed strange expressions on their faces. Zhang Yi had already told them in advance that this place was a trap set by the Wulwan Empire. If Li Guangxiao was still worried before, wondering whether this was a trap, now he has no doubts at all. There aren't so many coincidences in the world. This is obviously a trap set by someone. Ling and Mammon have both said this. Human beings are the race that has concentrated all the bad qualities since the creation of the world. This race is almost a collection of various sinful desires. If they were not physically weak, they would be even more threatening to the world than the Druckers. Therefore, when it comes to conspiracy and intrigue, the Wulwan people cannot compare with humans at all. Li Guangxiao and others saw through the poor acting skills at a glance. Tell Chaos immediately and let him make the decision. There was a murderous intent flashing in Li Guangxiao's eyes. I can just use the death god of love. I can completely nuke that place. They've already dug the hole themselves, so why not let it go to waste? By using the warhead of a bunkerbuster missile and firing it into the cave along the discovered cave entrance, most of the Wulwan people hiding in it can be killed. Zhang Yi got the news quickly, and he curled his lips when he heard it. Thousands of meters underground, it's hard for the death god of love to be effective. Save your energy, and don't waste your weapons. But this also indirectly proves that they are very anxious to kill me. Very good, then I will tease them some more. Zhang Yi now needs to delay for enough time. He wanted to improve the strength of the Huaxiu nation's alien army, no matter how much he could improve. He didn't mind the long preparation time. He had to ensure a 100% complete victory in this battle. They like to play, so I'll play with them for once. The next day, Zhang Yi really appeared above the uninhabited island. He was accompanied by Hua Hua and a group of Fueying troops, who were watching from afar in the sky. This time, the Wulwan tribe lurking deep in the cave discovered Zhang Yi's figure. That guy has appeared. Chaos from Huaxiu country. I knew it. These greedy humans would be unable to resist coming here. Come on, damn boy. If you step into the trap we've set for you, you're dead. They stared at the enlarged figure in the sky, their eyes full of impatience. They have set up a perfect trap under the entire uninhabited island, ensuring that Zhang Yi will die as soon as he enters. Zhang Yi flew around the uninhabited island twice from a distance and seemed very hesitant. But in the end he did not get close, but chose to leave quickly. This made the lizard men a little disappointed, but then hope appeared in their eyes. He's moved. If we increase our efforts, he will definitely come back. I just don't believe he can withstand such temptation. Soon, the energy reaction of the sacrificial spirit appearing on the uninhabited island became stronger and could be detected by patrolling ships. The next day, the human army finally arrived again. This time, it is an even more powerful army of mechanical life forms. They are all the most advanced combat machines, with combat capabilities comparable to captain-level mutants. They are simply impeccable in both attack and defense, far surpassing ordinary human warriors. They rushed into the cave and began to look for treasure. The people of the Wulwan tribe held their breath and sent out the giant spiders they had raised to attack the mechanical life forms. Just in time, most of the mechanical life forms were destroyed, but a few escaped. And let them bring back some ores with sacrificial spirits. You can't help it now, right? The officers of the Wulwan tribe thought so. But who would have thought that after another day, the troops that came were still mechanical life forms. But the number has doubled. And each of them was carrying a heavy box. How could this guy be like this? He always sends mechanical life forms. Would he die if he came himself? Is he that patient? A lizardman officer couldn't help but curse. They came all the way here and worked so hard to dig the pit and lay it out, not to kill some broken iron sheets. Hold on. These mechanical life forms appear to be from the vanished Song Yuan clan. This guy won't have many of them. Once they're all gone, chaos will definitely come in person. Someone said patiently. Zhang Yi does not have many such mechanical life forms in his hands, only a few 100,000, but most of them are left in another space to gather dust. Because he used too much at one time and consumed too much energy, he couldn't afford it. But it's not a big deal to use it to amuse them. This time, the mechanical life forms that entered the underground cave were obviously different. Because they all carry super high-energy explosives with astonishing equivalent. This made their self-explosion even more destructive, not only killing many giant spiders, but also almost causing the traps that the lizard men had painstakingly set to collapse. Fortunately, they protected the space vibration instruments in time, so the operation did not fail. This guy, he's absolutely abominable. Damn it. Why isn't he coming? Why isn't he coming? Do we have to bring the spirit of sacrifice before him and beg him to come? This time, the group of lizardmen officers were really angry. Even Clot, the head of the operation, fell silent. The situation isn't what we imagined. These sixth-generation humans are too cunning. They won't act until they see the rabbit. They must have been frightened by our Wulwan Empire before. This time they brought back a portion of the sacrificial spirit. If he absorbs it, it will greatly increase his strength. However, it seemed that this still couldn't completely impress that human. I'll go back to the Empire and apply to headquarters to transfer more sacrificial spirits. That day, the human came over and circled around several times, which showed that he was already attracted. He is only one step away from being moved and falling into the trap. Anyway, as long as we can lure people over, nothing will be lost, so it's not a problem to put out more bait. Thinking this in his heart, Clot returned to the Wulwan Empire and went to Zhonglu to ask for more resources. However, at this time, the Wulwan Empire had fallen into a huge crisis. Zhu Yu's ability is too abnormal. She may not be a top fighter in one-on-one combat, but when it comes to creating huge panic in a vast empire, she is definitely unmatched. Stay with me. We'll try to get you more updates. Please like and subscribe and share the video with your friends. Love you all.